Hello, am I audible?
Yes, madam, audible.
Okay.
Madam, kindly share the slide one of your PPT.
Yes, sir, I had shared you the YouTube live link and I
Okay,
had
ma'am.
where to phone, sir.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Kavita, madam, kindly share the slide one of your PPT, please.
Yes, sir. Is this visible now?
Yes, madam.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Dear participants, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, dear participants, welcome to this day six session of 1 week national level online FDP on trending and modern teaching methods. So, dear participants, kindly introduce yourself through chat box, your name, designation, department, college or institute name, city name, etc. I repeat, dear participants, kindly introduce yourself through chat box, your name, designation, department, college or institute name, city name, etc. Sharp at 7:35, we'll start the session. Okay, Kavita madam?
Yes, sir. Definitely okay.
Okay, madam. Thank you.
Hello, sir. May I start the session?
Yeah, madam. Please go ahead, madam.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the confirmation. So,
Thank you.
first of all, very good evening to all the participants who are present here in this 7 days faculty development program on trading and modern teaching methods. And multiple topics have been discussed to discuss in this program. Where first session was conducted on a major topic that was active learning strategies, which are also discussing that engaging the students beyond the lecture. In another session, we discussed about the technology that enhancing the teaching, where flipped learning, blended learning, and hybrid approaches all have been discussed in detail. In another session, where we discussed about the authentic assessment and feedback assessment, where we also discussed how to design the meaningful evaluation for the evaluation purpose. And today's topic, I decided to discuss with you people inclusive and differentiated instruction and addressing the diverse learners need, including. So, myself, Dr. Kavita Daya, working as an assistant professor at Manipal University, Jaipur, welcome you here again in this session. So before starting the session, let's have a quick overview of this session where inclusive pedagogy emphasizing the importance of creating the learning environment that accommodate all students regardless of their diverse need. So it is also involving the understanding and addressing the different learning styles, ability, and cultural background of the students. And in today's diverse classroom, which is including the inclusive teaching practices that are crucial for fostering the equity and ensuring that every student have the opportunity to succeed. Where strategies such as differentiated instructions, universal design for learning, and flexible assessments all are the key meeting this need. So technology also play a significant role in supporting the personalized learning and enhancing the engagement for all learners. We're creating an inclusive and classroom culture that also values this diversity, encouraging the collaboration and mutual respect towards learner and educator, where educators are encouraged to engage in continuous professional development and reflective practices to improve their teaching strategies and to ensure that they meet the need of all students. By promoting the emotional well-being and providing the tailored support, educators can also enhance the learning experiences for the students. So after discussing the overview, let's start the session with the discussion over the quick look at learning objectives of the session, where the first learning objective of the session is to recognize the diverse learning need in the classroom. Here we are also going to discuss the adaptation of assessment practices for diverse learner, and we are also going to define the various strategies for supporting English language learner, and we are also going to address the emotional and social learning need in the diverse classroom. So after discussing the learning objectives of the session, let's start the session with the discussion over the meaning of inclusive pedagogy, where this inclusive pedagogy refers to teaching strategies and different approaches that are also aiming to include all learners regardless of their different abilities, backgrounds, and learning needs, ensuring that equal opportunities for learning. Here, it is also a critical aspect of education today that especially in diverse classroom where students come from the range of social economic background, and all these have the different cultural experiences including the social backgrounds and different cultural experiences, various speaking languages, and other process possess the unique learning abilities. Where the core principle of inclusive pedagogy is that it is ensuring that all students, regardless of their ability, background, or his or her, no, whatever the diversity there may be possibly on part of demographics or on part of social political system, we are including or we are considering them only a learner who is sitting in the class and who is willing to acquire the knowledge, to understand the content, to understand the concept that you are delivering. Then another is diverse teaching method. We are employing varied instructional strategies such as visual aid, group discussion, and hands-on the different strategies, activities to meet the different need, learning style of the students. Then respect of differences. Yes, you need to respect the differences, whatever are there on part of learner, because these are not man-made, but these are natural. So acknowledging and valuing the unique perspective and experiences each student bring to the classroom. Then differentiated instructions. Yes, sometimes you need to differentiate your instructions that if it is required that sometime due to high level of heterogeneity in the classroom, you are supposed to differentiate your lecture instructions or your lecture or your content delivery according to the requirement. Then why inclusive teaching is critical in today's diverse classroom? In today's classroom, students come from the diverse cultural, linguistic, and socio-economic background. Inclusive pedagogy is necessary because it is going to help to create a learning environment where all students, regardless of their differences, can succeed. So here, let's discuss why inclusive pedagogy is crucial. The first one is cultural diversity. Like country India, for example, is a home of students from different states, languages, and culture, where the diversity is spread all over the Indian any region. So, university like Jawaharlal Nehru University and Banaras Hindu University, all these reflect the diversity that found across the nation, where students are coming from the different region, different cultural background, maybe from northeast part of India, southern part of India. All these may have the different educational experiences. Inclusive pedagogy also ensure that teaching method and material are tailored to respect and address these differences. So if I'm talking about the international context, then universities like Harvard, Oxford, or University of Sydney enroll students all around the world, where these students often have become varied educational system, background, and experiences through inclusive teaching practice. These institutions ensure that all students no matter where they come from, can engage with the course content in meaningful way. For instance, offering the courses of in multiple languages and allow the additional time for assessment, helping the bridge the gap for international students who might face the language barrier. Then disability and learning need. Yes, sometimes disability itself uh, enforce you to have an inclusive teaching practice in your class. So inclusive pedagogy provide these students with the necessary, which are somehow having the physical disability or any disability like dyslexia, emotional and psychological challenges. You need to consider every student significantly, and you need to prepare your content in such a way so that every uh, learner can understand your content, whatever you are delivering. Then socio-economic diversity. Students come from varied economic social background, which also influence their access to resources. In India, many students in rural areas may not have the access to some technology or learning material as their urban counterparts. Online education platforms like SWAM in India are designed to bridge this gap by offering free courses from the top universities, thus promoting the inclusive learning by making the educational course resources more accessible to the students who may not afford expensive textbook or study material. Then promoting this social justice and equity, where inclusive pedagogy also foster the social justice and equity that by promoting the idea that all students or learners, regardless of their background or ability, should have access to the same quality of the education. And this also includes making the learning environment safe, respectful, and supportive of the students from underrepresented group, including women, students, and first generation college students. Then offline learning example, where at University of Delhi, the university exam administration has implemented a policy of universal design, where classrooms are designed to accommodate the students with various needs. So students who have physical disability are given priority sitting on and access to assistive technology. Professors may use the multimedia resources and physical handouts that cater to students with the different learning preferences, such as visual learner and auditory learning are those who learn best through hands-on activity. Then online learning example, where during COVID-19 pandemic, universities worldwide transitioned to online learning, and prime example of University of Melbourne that which also implemented the inclusive teaching practices in its online courses by offering the closed caption on video, audio, and description and screen reader compatible material. And these initiatives also help the students who have any disability engage more effectively with the content. Then hybrid learning example, a hybrid learning model which combine online and offline teaching, which has increasingly adapted in both Indian and international universities. For example, the Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay, that offers hybrid courses that allow the students to access lecture material online while participating in hands-on workshop and practical activities on campus. And this approach also ensures that students from different geographical locations or with different learning need can also engage with the material in a way that suits their personal circumstances, whether through online or face-to-face interaction. How to recognize the diverse learning need in the classroom. In today's educational environment, where especially in universities and colleges, students also exhibit a variety of learning needs. Understanding and addressing these needs is really crucial for creating an inclusive and supportive learning environment. Recognizing these diverse learning need not only helps you to improve the academic outcomes, but also resources that all students are giving equal opportunities to succeed regardless of their background, abilities, and learning styles. Then identifying the different learning styles and needs, where there are various learning styles and needs that students bring to the classroom. Some students may have a specific disability that require the accommodation, while others may need support due to the language barriers or cultural barriers or differences. So students with disability, where disability inclusive pedagogy ensure that all students with physical and sensory, cognitive and emotional disability receives the necessary resources to participate fully in academic life. For instance, students with the visual impairment may need the textbook in Braille or audio format, while students with hearing impairment may benefit from the sign language. So, interpreters or captions for video content. Universities like University of Delhi in India have established a special cell to support the students with disability, offering the assistive technologies such as screen reader, audio tools, and physical accommodations too. So, in international setting, where universities like Howard University in United States have robust accessibility services, they offer various forms of accommodation, such as extending time for exams or students while with learning disabilities, or providing the quiet space for students with sensitivities. In both cases, these accommodations are tailored to individual need for students, ensuring that they have tool necessary for the academic success. Then English language learners. Many students or many universities in both India and abroad enroll the international students who are non-native English speaker. These students may struggle to understand the lectures, participate in discussions, or complete written assignments. In universities like Jamia Millia in Islamia, English proficiency programs are offered to support students whose first language is not English. In the United States, universities like University of California, Berkeley offer the English as a second language courses, as well as writing the center where students can get help improving their academic English. This support also help them to bridge the language gap and enable the students to succeed in their academic endeavor. Then linguistic and cultural diversity, where students from diverse linguistic and cultural background may face the challenges in understanding the curriculum, especially when it is delivered in the dominant language or reflect the specific cultural context. For example, in India, a student from Tamil Nadu may find it challenging to engage with the course material delivered in Hindi or English without proper translation or contextual adaptation. Acknowledging this diversity and adapting the content delivery that can also enhance their learning experiences. So, let's discuss identifying the different learning style and need on the international scale, where university like University of Sydney have embraced the culturally responsive teaching method. For example, the university offers specialized workshop for international students addressing the cultural barriers in the communication and learning. So, understanding the cultural differences that can also help the instructors tailor their teaching that to be more inclusive, such as by recognizing the different mode of classroom interactions. So, here, if I'm talking about how to understand the cultural, socioeconomic, linguistic differences, then first is cultural differences. This is cultural background that shape how the learner learn, engage with the content, and interact with the peer and instructor. So, for instance, students from collectivist culture in many part of the Asian culture that may be more comfortable working with the group and differing in the authority figure like professor. So on the other hand, students from individualistic culture, many Western culture that is included here, that may be more comfortable with the independent work and critical questioning of the authority. Then socioeconomic differences, where students' socioeconomic background influences their access to resources such as textbook, technology, and quick spaces for studying. In India, students from a lower socioeconomic background might not have access to same resources as their wealthier peer. So, if I'm talking about the example, then University of BHU in Varanasi that offer the scholarship and provide the affordable access to digital learning resources to ensure that all students, regardless of their socioeconomic status, have equal learning opportunities. Then another is socio-cultural and academic expectation, where socio-cultural norms affect the students' approaches to education and academic expectation. For example, in Indian college, many students from smaller towns or villages might come from the background where education is viewed as a mean of secure job rather than an avenue for intellectual exploration. Teacher at institutions like Jawaharlal Nehru University in Delhi often engage with the students through debate and discussion, encouraging the critical thinking and broadening the students' perspective beyond just job-oriented knowledge. So let's discuss differentiated instructions. So yes, sometimes you need to give the differentiated instructions based on the requirement as well as the level of the heterogeneity in the classroom. So it involves tailoring the teaching method, content, and resources assessment to ensure that all students, regardless of their background, ability, and learning style, can access the curriculum effectively in both online and offline mode of teaching. Differentiated instructions allow the educator to create an inclusive and equitable learning environment that support every student unique need. So differentiated instruction is based on premises that students have varied the level of prior knowledge, learning style, and interest. As a result, one size fits all approaches of teaching is not effective for every student, where differentiation also involves varying the content, process, and product of learning based on the learners, regardless of their interest and learning profile too. It is not about lowering their expectations, but rather providing the multiple pathways for students to engage with the material and ensuring that they are challenged appropriately and providing with the requirement of the success. So content that refers to material being taught, process that refers to activity, and strategies that are used by the instructor to help the students to make sense of the content, and product that refers to final output or assessment that demonstrate what student has learned. So the differentiation in the content, process, and product is including that first one is content. So it means providing the student with the different ways of accessing the same material. Yes, it may also be requirement of the class that if the level of heterogeneity on basis on socio-economic, demographic, educational, whatever the cultural, the differences there are, you need to frame your lecture or you need to create your content in such a way so that the majority of or every learner, not majority but every learner understand your content that you are delivering in the session. Then differentiated content that is in international context, that is Harvard University instructor in course like literature might provide different types of reading material based on the student's proficiency level in English. Advanced students might read the original text while other might work with the simplified version of the same content and ensuring that all learners can engage meaningfully with the subject matter. Then content that it is that in international language context that Harvard University instructor can also course like literature that might provide the differentiated type of the reading material based on the student's proficiency level in the English. Then second one is differentiated process. Yes, process that refers to varying the teaching method that used to help the students understand the content and to ensure that each student is engaged at right level of the difficulty. Then if I'm talking about the online context, that Zoom or Microsoft Team that enable the instructor to use breakout room for group work, and that is also allowing the students to collaborate in the smaller, more manageable setting. For example, in psychology course at University of California, Berkeley, students might be divided into group based on their interest with each group investigating a different psychology theory or experiment before presenting their findings and then evaluation. Then differentiating product, differentiating the product refers to providing the students with different ways of demonstrating their understanding of the content. This also ensures that assessments are not only aligned with the learning objectives but also cater to students' strength, interest, and learning style. So, an Indian university like Banasthali University, for example, students may be allowed to choose between writing traditional research papers or creating a visual presentation to demonstrate their understanding of the topic in history or sociology class. The flexibility to choose the medium allows the students to showcase their strength, whether they are more comfortable with the written communication or visual and creating the expressions. Then in case of international setting, that like Stanford University, students in business management courses might be given the option to demonstrate their learning through different kind of the final project. Some might write a detailed businesses proposal, while other could opt for creating a digital marketing campaign for a business simulation game. This flexibility allows the students to approach learning in a way that align with their individual skill and interest. So what are the different strategies for implementing the differentiated instruction? Ongoing assessment and flexible group, regularly formative assessments that help the instructor identify where each student is in their learning journey. Based on these assessments, teachers can also group the students according to their readiness, interest, or learning preferences. For example, in an online business courses at University of Mumbai, students could be also grouped based on their progress with a particular module. High achievers might work more on challenging case studies, while others might receive additional guidance on the core concept. Then use of technology, that digital tools like extremely effective in differentiating the instructions in an online setting. That platforms like Kahoot or Quizlet also allow the teachers to create the quizzes that are also tailored to differentiate the learning, different the learning level. So LMS like Moodle or Google Classroom, all these provide
मैथ्स का तो भी
instructor
करेगा, मैंने इसको बोला है अभी करने के लिए। वो कैसे पेंडिंग होगा? पेंडिंग नहीं, आज वाला काम कर।
with the ability to recognize the content by difficulty level, allowing the students to progress through the material at their own pace. Then if I'm talking about the choice board or menus, then it is a board that allow the students to choose from the menu of the different activities that cater a different learning style. Then differentiated scaffold, and this is also involving different offering levels that of support based on the students' need. For example, in English literature classes at University of Sydney, students are struggling with the reading comprehension might receive more guided learning material and additional class time, while students who grasp the content quickly might be given more complex text to analyze. Here I'm going to discuss the universal design for learning, and it is an educational framework that seeks to create flexible learning environment that cater to the diverse need of all students regardless of their ground, learning style, or abilities. The framework is also based on the premises that there is no single way in which all students learn. So this universal design of learning advocates for the use of multiple methods for teaching, engagement, and assessments to ensure that all learners, including those with disabilities, can access and participate in a teaching and learning process effectively. So what are the core principles? But the first one is multiple mean of representation, which is also offering the content in various formats to ensure that all learners can access and understand it, whether through text, audio, and video, or hands-on experiences. So multiple means of actions and expressions allowing the students to demonstrate their knowledge in various ways, such as through writing, speaking, and presenting, or using the technology. Then multiple means of engagement, that is also providing the different ways to engage students, ensuring that they remain motivated and interested in the class. Then universal design for learning, that in Indian university online and offline case, if I'm discussing here, then in Indian university, especially with the growing use of technology, this universal design of learning that has become an important aspect of curriculum. For example, JNU that in Delhi, that professor have started applying UDL principle in their classroom, where teaching a philosophy course instructor use the combination of lecture, multimedia, content, and integrative group discussions too. Then if I'm talking about this UDL in the online mode, then the University of Delhi also have utilized the LMS such as Moodle to deliver the content in multiple formats. Lectures have been also already uploaded in form of video lectures. Reading material is also available, and interactive activities for students to engage with the asynchronously. So students with disability, universities in India are increasingly adapting the technology like screen reader and text-to-speech software in their LMS platform to make the content more accessible. These technologies are particularly beneficial for visual impaired students, enabling them to engage with the material through auditory channels. In United States, institutions like Howard University and Stanford University, all these have long been applying the UDL principle to create the inclusive learning environment. For instance, the Howard Faculty of Art Science instructor in social courses use a variety of media such as case studies, documentaries, and lectures alongside hands-on the activities like group problem solving tasks. So these activities cater to students with the different learning preferences and allow the students to engage with the content in the way that suits to individual need. Then this is another example. So online context further highlight how UDL can be applied. Stanford online platform and adaptive learning tools that adjust the difficulty of question based on the students' previous responses, ensuring that every student receive a challenge tailored to their current level of understanding. These provides continuous support while providing the overlapping students. So, if I'm talking about at the global platform, such as Coursera or edX, that have incorporated the UDL principle into their courses. For example, digital marketing course may offer videos, written transcripts, and interactive quizzes to accommodate a wide range of the learner. Then designing the lesson and activities where multiple means of representation this to support the diverse learners. Instructors can also offer a mix of content delivery method, including the text, audio, video, and interactive media. For instance, in biological courses at MIT universities, students might watch the different videos, demonstrations of an experiment, read an article about it, and then participate in an interactive simulation. Then let's discuss designing the lesson and different activities. Instead of only additional exam or essay, students can also demonstrate their learning in multiple ways. In online history courses, like at the university, that students may be asked to submit the written essay to create an story or to give a recorded presentation also. So this designing the lesson and different activities where multiple mean of engagement, that is including the students' motivation. And at MIT University in India, that instructors use gamified learning platforms such as Kahoot or quizzes to keep the students engaged with the content. And these platforms also offer the quizzes, competitive games, and interactive discussions that also going to help the learners to review the material in a fun mode. Then what are the different assessment practice strategies that you can adopt for the diverse learner? Adapting the diverse practices in the essential is also essential to ensure that all students, regardless of their learning style, ability, and backgrounds, have an equal opportunities to succeed. In modern educational context, especially in university and college class, students have come from diverse background, and including those with the disabilities. English language learners can also with the engage with the varying level of the prior knowledge and different skills. Then flexible assessment also offer the students multiple ways to demonstrate their understanding, while varied assessments ensure that different types of learners, visual, auditory, and kinesthetic, etc., are evaluated in a manner that best showcase their strength. This approach also helps the educators capture a more accurate picture of the students' learning and growth. That is also ensuring that assessments are fair or not. So, what are the key strategies for adapting the assessment in both online and offline environment? So, it is going to offer the choose and flexibility that allow the students to choose between the different types of the assessment, such as essay, presentation, and projects. This flexibility ensures that students can also showcase their strength and engage with the content in way that suits their learning style. Then use technology for timely feedback, where platforms like Google Classroom, Kahoot, or Padlet, all these can be used to give the students immediate feedback on a formative assessments like through quiz or polls. Then incorporate the peer and self-assessment. Yes, you can also incorporate the peer assessment where their friends, their colleagues, their peers are going to assess their evaluation, assess their content, even though self-assessment is also becoming a very important part of the assessment tool. Then designing the assessment with the clear rubric. Rubric is nothing but that is for the assignments which help the students to understand the expectations and how their work will be evaluated. Means different variables that you are including in the rubric for the assessment purpose. So using the technology to support the differentiated instructions, that differentiated instructions is an approach where educator modify their teaching methods, resources, and assessment teaching to cater the diverse learning needs, preferences, and ability of the students. So the technology advancement where students are no longer constrained by the fit one size all approach. So digital platform also enable the criteria creation of dynamic and adaptive learning environment where students can also engage with the content in such a way that best suit their learning style and their pace. So this is especially important in universities and college setting where students come from varied educational, socioeconomic, and cultural backgrounds. So customizable learning material where platform like Moodle, Canvas, and Google Classroom allow the instructor to create a customizable learning path that suit various learners. So video readings, quizzes, and interactive material that can also tailored to meet the specific need for students, whether it is breaking down complex content for struggling the learners or offering more advanced resources for high achieving students. Then engagement with the gamification. You can engage the students with the with the different strategies in form of games, where tools like Kahoot, Quizlets, and Socrative, all these are going to help you to create a learning environment in a fun environment and interactive environment too. Then this technology also helps you to enhance the accessibility and engagement with the students, where it is very helpful in real time. Technologies like Google Form, Kahoot, or Socrative provide real time feedback, which is essential for formative assessment. So another thing is that inclusive learning environment. Tool like Panopoto and SWAM that ensure that learners with disability or from different cultural background have equal access to learning material. And caption video, voice over material, interactive content, all these allow the students to engage with the content in such a way that suits their learning preferences. Then building up the inclusive classroom culture that is the culture that is essential for fostering a learning environment where all students, regardless of their background, ability, or experiences, feel valued, respected, and empowered. And this is particularly important in universities and colleges where the students' population is diverse in terms of academic abilities, cultural background, and socioeconomic status and learning styles. In an exclusive classroom culture ensures that every student has opportunity to thrive, participate, and contribute to the learning process. In today's globalized world, fostering the inclusivity in the classroom is more important than ever. So, an inclusive classroom does not just only provide equitable access to learning material, but also promote the collaboration and cultural respect among the students from different culture and ethnic, linguistic, and social economic background. Then let's discuss how to create an inclusive classroom culture at the University of Delhi, that is online, that offline, sorry, that where DU, one of the largest leading university effort to create an inclusive classroom culture that are seen in the course like gender studies, sociologies, and political sciences. Professors in these fields make deliberate efforts to ensure that all students feel heard and respected regardless of their background. Then promoting the university through curriculum that professors incorporate the diverse perspective and authors in the curriculum. For instance, in social political science courses discussing the global political system, students are introduced to theories from different regions, including the African, Asian, and Latin American scholars. This broadens students' perspective and ensure that no single worldview dominates the courses. So, if I'm talking about the offline mode, then it is encouraging the collaboration that professors encourage the students from different academic disciplines and background to work together on the group projects. For example, the group of students working on the sociology project that might have one student from an engineering background, another from literature, and another from social work. So inclusive language where professors are mindful for using the inclusive language that does not alienate any student. This is crucial in multicultural environment like DU where students from diverse regions, languages and cultural background come together. Encouraging this to inclusive behavior through language helps in making everyone feel welcome and valued. Then, if I'm talking about another example, that IIT Bombay, that one of the India's top engineering institute, following a similar inclusive approach, both in offline and online mode, the university also recognizes that students from various socio-economic backgrounds, cultural traditions, and learning abilities attention the institution. So, inclusive classroom practice at IIT Bombay, that online classes with the advent of online learning. IIT Bombay has integrated tools like Zoom, Google Meet, and Moodle to facilitate inclusivity. In online classes, teachers actively monitor the participation, ensuring that students from diverse backgrounds are equally encouraged with the speak up and engage with the courses material. The use of breakout Zoom in the room in the Zoom is a common strategy where students from different parts of India can also interact in the smaller, less intimated group also. So inclusive behavior and collaboration, which is not only a culture that not only about adjusting the teaching material and delivering method, but also about encouraging the inclusive behavior among the students. So the key strategy for fostering the inclusive behavior, that first one is celebrating the diversity. So this diversity is not a problem, but this is an opportunity that you can avail, or that you can use it in a good way. So another is peer monitoring. Yes, peer monitoring is also another strategy that you can adopt for the inclusive behavior and collaboration among the students, where University of Delhi often participate in peer monitoring. Then active participation, that also encouraging all learners regardless of their background to engage actively in the discussions, debates and projects. For example, Harvard courses where every student is encouraged to contribute in the class discussion through discussion board and group presentation, which is also ensuring that those who might be shy or hesitant to speak in front of large group have alternative method of participating. Then use of technology and engagement, that tool like Padlet and Flipped Grid that can also be used to promote the inclusivity, and students can also share their strength, their thoughts in the less intimate space than a live classroom. So, what are the strategies that you can use for supporting the English language learner? In today's globalized educational system, students in universities and colleges come from the diverse linguistic background, where English language learners are also students whose first language is not English and who are in the process of learning the English. So, in both online and offline settings, support this English learning language learner. That is also crucial for their academic success. Otherwise, they may fail somewhere, or they will face a huge challenge. So suppose JNU, which is one of the India's leading institution, where English language learning students are supporting through variety of strategies. Many students at JNU come from the regional languages background, and universities offer the specific programs to aid in the language acquisition. Then language assistance through workshop, that JNU also provide the English language workforce for the students who need the extra helps. For example, students struggling with the academically English are invited to attend the intensive workshop, where professors also help the students to improve reading comprehension, writing and verbal communication skill in the English. And these workshops also focus more on understanding the academic jargon and developing the skills needed for the academic purpose. Then peer monitoring program. Yes, JNU also employ the peer monitoring program, where senior students who are proficient in English assist ELL students with the writing assignments, project discussions, and research paper preparation. Then visual aid and scaffold, that professor at JNU also uses the visual aid such as slides, diagram, and infographics to support their English language learners. For instance, sociology courses key terms are explained using the chart and diagram. So, if I'm talking about ELL in international context, that online and offline both the modes, where University of California, Berkeley, that has a large population of the international students, many of whom are English language learners, and these University of California, Berkeley, that implement the multiple strategies to support the ELL students both in online and offline courses. So the first thing that we are going to discuss here is blended learning and online resources. So this University of California, Berkeley provide ELL with the access to online learning platforms such as Canvas, and where students can also access the supplementary material to enhance their language skills. The use of online quizzes, interactive activities, and video resources that help the students to engage with the material more effectively. For example, an international rationale class, ELL also students that are going to given the access to provide the video lectures with the transcript. So another example is that scaffold instructions that University of California Berkeley faculty apply the scaffold strategies in the start instruction. A history of literature courses instructions. Instructor break down the complex reading material into smaller, more manageable parts and provide ELL students with the question that guide them to better understand their readings. Then language acquisition tool. To aid ELL students, UC Berkeley uses the language acquisition tool like Rosetta, Stone, and Duolingo to help them to practice the English outside the classroom. And this enables the students to improve their vocabulary and speaking skills at their own space. Then additionally, this UC Berkeley that offer the resources such as writing center where students can also receive the feedback on their written work, helping them to improve their academic writing in the English. Then University of Hyderabad, that is also known as its for its diverse students body that has students from a variety of languages background. Many students speak regional language and significant number that are also learning English as second language. The university also adapts the blended learning approaches to support ELL, combining both traditional and technological methods. Online learning platforms, university employ Moodles and Google Classrooms, such as a learning engagement system where ELL students can also access the recorded lecture and supplementary material. These platforms allow the students to pause, rewind, and revisit the lectures, which is also helpful for ELL and students who may need more time to absorb the information in English. So another example is that interactive videos and subtitle, where professor at University of Hyderabad often use YouTube videos and TED that takes the supplement of their lesson. Many of these videos are available with the subtitle, which allows ELL students to along and understand key concepts in their respective subjects. For instance, in a political science courses, students watch a TED talk on the future of democracy, and subtitle help them to comprehend the complex ideas more easily. Then collaborative learning activities, that collaborative group work is encouraged in courses like cultural studies, where ELL students collaborate with the peer to present research papers and case studies. Then emotional and social learning need in the diverse classroom, that yes, it is required, which is often just crucial in academic skill, especially for the students who from marginalized and disadvantaged background. So emotional and social learning refers to the process by which students develop the skills to manage their emotions, build up the positive relationship, and make the responsible decision among the learners. So emotional and social learning need the diverse classroom where online, offline, both environment present a unique challenge and different opportunities in addressing these needs. Teachers play a pivotal role in recognizing and supporting the emotional well-being of these students. And this support also help them to create a safe and engaging classroom environment where students feel valued and respected and empowered into the success. So implementing the strategies that promoting the emotional well-being and inclusivity in the classroom, that this inclusive classroom where emotional well-being is prioritized is essential for supporting the diverse learner. In both online and offline classroom setting, instructors must ensure that every student feels safe, valued, and respected. Implementing the strategies that also address the well-being and inclusive not only enhance the learning experiences but also contribute to academic success and personal growth. So here are the different strategies that you can adopt. First is building up the trust and safety, where any classroom, whether online or offline, establish an atmosphere of the trust and psychological safety for the learners, which is also crucial for the well-being of the students. Then social and emotional learning, learning program where social and emotional learning programs help the students to develop their key life skills such as self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy, and social skill. Where implementing these social and emotional learning strategies enable the students to manage emotions, build up the healthy relationship, and make the responsible decisions. Then cultural and responsive teaching, where students come from the various cultural backgrounds and understanding these differences is really crucial for promoting the inclusivity, where cultural responsiveness teaching involves recognizing and validating the cultural experiences and identity of the students, which is also ensuring that curriculum and classroom activities reflect the diverse perspectives. Then fostering the peer support and collaboration, where collaboration learning helps the students to form social connections which are vital for the emotional well-being. By working in the group, students can also share the ideas, support each other emotionally, and develop the empathy. So another is incorporating the mindfulness and stress relief activity, where mindfulness and stress relief activity help the students to manage the anxiety and enhance the emotional well-being. And these activities can also seamlessly incorporated into both online and offline, both the classroom settings. Then another is providing the emotional and mental health resources. By providing the access to mental health and resources is also essential in addressing the emotional well-being of the students. And students also should be aware of available resources, and instructors can also direct them to use these resources if required. Then professional development and reflective practices for inclusive teaching in rapidly evolving educational landscape. Professional development and reflective practices are critical for educators who aim to implement the educational inclusive pedagogy. So the continuous learning and self-reflection strategies for the teacher, where educator, the process of professional growth is never static, where continuous learning and self-reflection are essential for understanding how to meet the need of a diverse student population and adapt the teaching practices accordingly. So this University of Delhi, that EDU faculty members participate in ongoing workshops and training that more focus on inclusive teaching practices. Then strategies for continuous learning, where teachers can also attend different workshops, online courses, and webinars that are more focusing on inclusive pedagogy. Many platforms like Coursera and edX offer the courses on differentiated instructions for that universal design of learning and differentiated instructions, universal design for learning and cultural competencies. Additionally, regularly attending the conferences and seminars provide the teacher with the insights into new development and inclusive education. Then a role of professional development in building up the teacher's capacity. Effective professional development program that can significantly enhance the teacher's ability to differentiate the instructions and create an inclusive learning environment, where professional development provides teacher with the necessary skill to design the lesson, assessment, and activities that meet the requirement or demand for the all students. Then strategies for building up the teachers' capacity, where schools and universities should invest in inclusive teaching programs that more focus on differentiating the instructions and understanding the culture, social, economic, and linguistic diversity. Where professional developments should cover the topics such as differentiated instructions, technology integration, and for diverse learner, cultural responsiveness teaching, and assessment technologies for diverse learner. Addressing mental health and emotional well-being. So a strong professional development program should include opportunities for collaboration, and teacher can also work together in professional learning communities to share the resources, strategies, and insights on creating the inclusive classroom. So here we are at the end of the session, where inclusive pedagogy is foundation for creating a learning environment where every student, regardless of his or her background or ability, that feels supported and has the opportunity to succeed. In today's diverse classroom, it is crucial to recognize and address the varied learning needs of the students, including those with the disabilities, English language learners, and students from different socio-economic and cultural background. By incorporating the differentiated instructions and universal design for learning, that educator can also provide flexible and inclusive learning lessons that accommodate these diverse needs, allowing them all students to engage meaningfully with the content. Adapting the assessment practices is another crucial aspect, which is also ensuring that all evaluations are fair, varied, and accessible to all the learners. Technology also play a key role in facilitating the personalized learning and enhancing the students' engagement, especially in both online and offline teaching settings. Furthermore, fostering an inclusive classroom culture where respect and collaboration are prioritized ensures that every student feel valued and included. Supporting the emotional and social learning need, particularly for marginalized group, is vital for creating a safe and supportive learning environment. Educator must be equipped with the necessary tools and knowledge to address these needs effectively. So, continuous professional development and reflective practices are essential for teachers to stay informed and improve their inclusive teaching practices and strategies, also ensuring that all students also going to receive education equitable education. By embracing these principles and practices, education or educator that can also help to create a more inclusive, supportive, and effective learning environment for all students, contributing to their academic success and personal growth. So here we are at the summary level that we discussed in this session how to recognize the diverse learning need in the classroom. Then we also discussed the adaptation of assessments practices for diverse learner, and we also defined the various strategies for supporting the English language learner. And here we also address the emotional and social learning need in the diverse classroom. If you are having any query related to this session or related to any previous session, you can ask your query through dropping your query in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself to ask your query.
Thank you very much, madam. So, as the speaker madam rightly said, the session is open for discussion. You can clarify your doubts through chat box or unmuting your mics. I repeat, dear participants, the session is open for discussion. You can clarify your doubts through chat box or unmuting your mics. Yeah, speaker madam.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, can you recap the today's session in few lines?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
So let's recap this session. And in this session, we discussed about inclusive and differentiated instructions. We also tried to address the diverse learner need. Where in this session, we also discussed that how inclusive pedagogy emphasizing more on the importance of creating the learning environment that is also accommodating all the students, regardless of their diverse need and their requirements and their background. And it is also involving that how to understand and address the diverse or different learning style and ability, and including the cultural background of the students. In today's diverse classroom, where inclusive teaching practice are also crucial for fostering the equitable and ensuring that every student has opportunity to succeed. And strategies that such as differentiated instructions, universal design for learning, and flexible assessments are the key strategies to meet these needs or these requirements. So here we also discussed that inclusive pedagogy that refers to teaching practices and approaches that aim to include all the students regardless of their different abilities or background or learning requirements, and that are ensuring the equitable or equal opportunities for the learning. Here we also discussed about the core principles of the inclusive pedagogy, and we also discussed why inclusive teaching practice is crucial or critical in today's environment or classroom. So here we also talked about inclusive pedagogy in the action, and we also talked about how to recognize the diverse learning need in the classroom. So we also discussed here how to understand the cultural, socio-economic, and linguistic differences among the learners, and to tackle with these differentiations or diversity, different strategies and different concepts that we also have been discussed, that how to frame your content or your information. That here we also discussed the differentiated instructions, that content, that process and product, all these have been discussed in detail one by one here in this session. And we also discussed the different strategies for implementing the differentiated instructions. So here we also talked about universal design for learning in detail, where core principles of UDL have been discussed in detail in both online and offline mode. And here in this session, we also talked about designing the lesson and different activities according to the requirement. And here we also discussed how to adapt the assessment practices for diverse learners. Then here also we talked about how to adapt the assessment practices for diverse learner and different key strategies for adapting the assessment in both online and offline environment. We also talked about using the technologies to support differentiated instructions, and we also talked about building up an inclusive classroom culture. Here we also talked about the inclusive classroom practices at IIT Bombay in both online and online mode. Then inclusive behavior and collaboration and significance of this inclusive behavior and collaboration also have been discussed in detail here. Different strategies for supporting the English language learner also have been discussed both in online and offline mode. In Indian context and international context have been discussed in detail here. So here we also talked about emotional and social learning needs in the diverse classroom, where it is including how to create the how to build up the trust and safety in the mind of the learner. Then social and emotional learning program, then cultural and responsive teaching, and then fostering the peer support and collaboration, incorporating the mindfulness and stress relief activities, providing the emotional and mental health resources. So here we also talked about professional development and reflective practices for inclusive teaching. Continuous learning and self-reflection strategies for teacher also have been discussed in detail, and the role of professional development in building the teacher capacity also have been discussed in detail, where we talked about strategies for building up the teacher capacity, the different strategies that you can adopt that as may be associated with the differentiated instruction, technology integration for the diverse learner, cultural responsiveness teaching, assessment strategy for the diverse learner, and assessing the mental health of the emotional well-being already have been discussed in this session. So this is all about today's session. Once again, if you are having any query related to this session or related to any previous session, you can ask your query through dropping your query in the chat box now also.
Yeah, thank you very much, madam. So, as speaker, madam, once again requesting all participants, uh, so you can clarify your doubts through chat box or unmuting your mics. The session is still open for the discussion. You can clarify your doubts through chat box or unmuting your mics.
One question is dropped in the chat box, that how diverse learning impact on the students' development. Definitely, diverse learning is also impacting very significantly to enhance the critical thinking of the learner, and to develop the problem solving skill in among the learner, right? So this is like that you are creating environment, or you are creating that kind of the what do you say, mm, you are building up that kind of the level of the learner, that if there is any discrepancy, if there is any problem popping up at any given point of time, then he will try to resolve that problem at their own end. Then it is also promoting the cultural awareness and sensitivity among the learners, that yes, he is learning how to respect the diversity, as well as the that heterogeneity that is already available in the classroom, associated or related to the culture, ethics, or socio-economic background. Then it is also the diversity that is encouraging the emotional growth and adaptability among the learners, he is becoming more sensitive towards heterogeneity, plus he's now more adaptable too, that he's more respecting that diversity, that okay, if there are 2 3 4 learners who are from the different background, then he's respecting them more, respecting their culture, respecting their diversity more. Then it is also improving that level of collaboration, or level of motivation, engagement. All these are the best return or best impact of the diversity of the in the class on the students development.
Yeah. Any doubt, any question, any clarification, dear participants? Dear participants, you can ask the question from day one session to till date. Am I right, madam?
Yes, sir, definitely.
So we are getting good feedback through chat box from most of the participants. So, Kavita madam,
Yes,
shall
sir.
we stop here? Yeah, shall we stop here?
Yes,
If
sir. We
there
may
is
stop
no,
if there is no query.
yeah. So, dear participants, with this, we'll stop here. Once again, we'll meet in tomorrow's last event, sorry, last session, but not list session. So, tomorrow we'll meet virtually at 7:30 p.m. So, till then, take care.
Yes,
Thank you, Speaker Madam. Thank you,
Sir,
participants. Good night.
hello.
Yeah.
Sir, actually, I just paid for this research, like this research event. Okay,
Okay. Mm.
but I'm not able to upload. I don't know
Okay.
why.
Okay.
Like the
Okay. No
server
issues.
or
Simply you do
something.
one thing. Yeah. Simply
Yeah,
do one thing. Simply send details through WhatsApp. We'll consider your registration.
yeah. I just shared you.
Okay. That's it. May I know your good name, please?
Shubham Kumar.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
So with this, we'll stop here. Once again, we'll meet virtually tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. So till then, take care. Bye bye. Thank you, Speaker Madam. Thank you,
thank you
participants.
so much,
Good
sir,
night.
and thank you to all the learner, all the participants who are present here.
Yeah. So good night, participants. Good night, Madam.